Schedule a free design consultation, and the more you buy, the more you'll save on blinds, shades, shutters, and more from Budget Blinds. Visit budgetblinds.com today.
It's an idea sparking controversy among hockey parents across the country. Moses Wolde joins us on a desk with more on this disturbing trend.
It's something that's been a little bit tough, of course. Recently, Vancouver Island minor hockey banning parents and spectators from the stands because of verbally abusing the referees and officials out there, coaches, that sort of thing. So in part one of our two-part feature that we're going to show you, Nariman Issa takes a look at the behavioral issues hockey fans and coaches might have right here in the border city.
Don't touch me, or I'm going to cave your glasses in. You got that?
Guys! Oh my God!
This is not behavior you expect to see from parents taking in their child's hockey game, screaming, pushing, and fighting. But it's these actions that are prompting other associations to take notice. But here at home, not everyone is on board with a possible spectator ban.
They're doing the wrong thing.
Daryl Wagner is the general manager for Lloydminster minor hockey. He says he wouldn't implement something similar.
You come to a rink at a Lloyd minor hockey game, for the most part, 99% of the parents are in the stands enjoying the game, cheering their children on and being supportive. You have that 1% that is crossing the line between what's right and wrong, and you can't punish the 99% because of the 1%.
Entering his 5th year as general manager, Daryl says he's had to deal with a few altercations involving parents, some more serious than others.
We have had situations this year where we've asked people to leave the building. We've had a situation where one of our officials called the RCMP down to the rink because they weren't comfortable with what they felt was going to happen after the game.
The Lloydminster Minor Hockey Association has 61 teams and a little more than 1,000 players registered. They also have 69 full-time referees. Now, on some weekends, there's just too many games scheduled that they don't have enough manpower to officiate these games. So if referees don't feel comfortable coming to the games, well, that's going to become a big issue.
I know it's always been an issue, but it seems like it's getting more and more of an issue.
Kyle Clank has been reffing for 5 years. While the 16-year-old says he's never been on the other end of abuse, he knows others who have.
Pretty frightening to have someone come into your ref room and just start yelling at you for a game you just reffed, because after all, it is just a game.
We caught up with Kyle at this referee clinic. The association holds one once a month for the younger refs. This is a chance to work on some skills and discuss certain issues.
So they might have a situation in a game that we don't hear about, maybe in Hillmond, where they had a parent was yelling, what do I do in this instance? So we can offer some suggestions for next time it happens, or how to prevent it.
Role play is important here. Dean Segberg plays an unruly coach to see how the kids react.
What about the trip? Diving, are you kidding? If I'm up here and I'm doing the Don Cherry thing, that's no respect, right? So, and I mean, I'm already 6 feet tall and 3 feet taller and 200 pounds heavier than you. So get me down to your level like you did.
It can be very intimidating for a teenager to have to stand up to a screaming adult. And these refs are hoping parents, whether in the stands or behind the bench, think twice before they react.
Be respectful. What if, I mean, it's a easy thing to say, what if it was your kid?
The refs, they're just learning still, and they're trying to get better, just like their kids playing hockey are.
Nariman Issa, Newcap Sports.
Thank you for that, Nariman. We will have the final part of our hockey behavior story tomorrow night on Newcap News. Move on to a lighter story involving hockey. The Bonnyville Pontiacs, they were in action taking on the Sherwood Park Crusaders. Both teams neck and neck in the AJHL North standings, and home ice could prove to be big as both teams look like they're going to be facing each other in the first round of the playoffs. Let's go to the highlights. Pontiac strike early already, 1-0. Kyler Haynes splits the D, tries to pass it, ends up going off a player of the crew and in 2-0 for the home side. This one got a little physical. Towards the end of the period, Steen Pashnik lays out Chris McKay. It would stay 2-0 through a period. Now just under 2 minutes into the second, the scramble in front. Arthur Gordon is there on the doorstep to cut the Pontiacs lead to 1. But the Yaks would respond with the 2-goal lead once again. A great play here by Evan Warmington to take the hit, springing the puck loose, Hayne off to the races, and he makes a beauty saucer pass to Brinson Pashnik for his 8th on the year, 3-1. Now his brother Steam will get into it once again, this time going toe-to-toe with Tyler Maltby, and let the haymakers fly. Decision for Pashnik. It's now a 1-goal game. Crusaders man advantage. Daniel Ray from the wall creeps in and scores, beating Troy Tremblay. It's all tied up at 3. Now midway through the period, Pontiac shorthanded Dane Phaneuf can't keep the puck on side, leading to an odd man rush. Warmington will make no mistake. He's definitely been a difference maker for this team since joining Bonnyville, coming from Whitecourt, that is, 4-3. That wrapped up a span of 4 goals in 4.5 minutes, but the goals didn't stop there because late in the period, it would be Breyer or Tinsky who would tie this game up once again going to the third. Now, fast forward, dying seconds, score 5-4 for the Yaks. They can't clear in their own zone. Ben Sawa with a bomb from the point, and it goes in. The goal fest continuing, and we would go to overtime, where in the extra frame, Tremblay will make the great save. The Pontiacs will head down the other end. Hain on a 2-on-1 decides to keep. And check out that nice little toe drag for the winner. What a stupendous goal. Pontiacs win a thriller at the RJ. 6-5 is the final. Talk about a playoff atmosphere. It was rocking in Bonnyville last night. Both Warmington and Hain chipped in with 2 goals and a helper each. Now Bonnyville moves into a tie with Sherwood Park for 4th place in the North. We'll head back for post-game reaction.
It had all the makings of a great playoff game. We won the first period, they won the second. Third period was tied, and it took to overtime to be able to determine a winner here. And certainly the fans got their money worth, and this is something that we can look forward to and expect, not only for the playoffs, but definitely the last 12 games of the season.
I seen they had 2 guys deep, and we were going in on a 2-on-1. Warmington was yelling shoot the whole way, so it just ended up working out. It's a great thing that we can knock it down on ourselves when they score, and the boys came through.
If there was a time for the Rustlers men's basketball squad to shift into 5th gear, now would be the time. They sit in 4th place in the North Division, but have some tough matches ahead and will need to hold that spot or better it just to make the playoffs. Claire Hanna has more.
There's less than a month left in the Lakeland Rustlers men's basketball schedule, and saying that it's crunch time would be an understatement.
We got off to a bit of a slow start, so pretty much every game from here to the end of the season is really, really, really important.
So I don't think we can afford to be nervous. I mean, we have to come on, we have to play, and we know that now. There's no more games we can come out and lose and just shrug our shoulders.
The Rustlers managed to split their weekend series against the Grand Prairie Wolves, who were just ahead of them in the standings with 2 more points.
It's all about the defensive end of things and trying to put pressure on their shooters, which we didn't do Friday night. We did a much better job Saturday.
For a lot of guys, when you lose by 20 to a team, it'd be really easy to just give up the next night, you know? Like, it'd be really easy to just kind of say, well, we can't beat this team, but we came out and beat them by almost the same amount the next night.
Only the top 4 teams in the North Division make playoffs, and currently the Rustlers sit in 4th place. Now, they're 2 points behind Keanu, who they'll be facing 2 weeks from now, but next up are the Nate Ooks, who are so far undefeated this season.
If you look at the stats our coach has shown us, we've also held them to the least amount of points. We're the only team that's held them to under 70, I believe, or 75, which means we can play with them.
We've looked at game film, we've studied them, we've put together what we think is a good set, an offensive set as well as a defensive scheme. So we're hoping that we'll match up well against them.
We're out here practicing every day just like everybody else, putting in work in the weight room and in the gym on our own time too. So I mean, you don't put in all that work for nothing. You know, we really, really want to be there when it all is said and done.
I've never been sitting, in front of the television watching NBA at home in the middle of February as a coach, and I don't plan to do it this year as well. All right, so our playoff schedule starts first weekend in March. We plan to be up in Fort McMurray.
Claire Hanna, Newcap Sports.
That's all the time we have in sports. We'll have more Newcap news and weather for you coming up after the break.